Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to watch. So we've got an update for you guys on the tropics right now. So, as you probably know, we do have an Invest 92L right here, kind of, trying to get going and start circulating. And we do have a lot of activity in these tropical waters, and also the Pacific. So we've got a lot going on all at once. Today's update is not going to be on anything else in terms of weather in the United States, just on the tropics today. So we're going to be breaking down what this tropical system is forecasted to strengthen into and what impacts it's going to bring, and then also where it could possibly go. So right now, to start things off, you have the satellite right now. This kind of just shows, how much moisture is in the air around all these systems. So here's your system right now. You can definitely see that it's taking the right shape somewhat of a tropical-like system. You got a few bands circulating around the center of the storm, and soon we should see an eye of the storm kind of appear once this gets a little stronger. So we got that going on. We do have another tropical wave around the Lesser Antilles, and this is going to be, just kind of producing some exploding thunderstorms across this region, and then maybe form something tropical-like, but really this doesn't look like it has any chance. The main focus today is on this storm right here. So I'll be giving you guys an update coming right up. So just to show you the general kind of direction of the storm, you can see that it's very slow moving right now, but it should be moving kind of like this. It's going to start out moving north and then turn a little bit farther west, and then just kind of take a jump at maybe the East Coast. But it probably will not be able to make it that far, as this probably won't get over a weak hurricane in terms of strength. So it shouldn't be able. It shouldn't move all the way towards the East Coast, but it could definitely near there. So we're going to be moving on to the National Hurricane Center, and we're just going to be looking at their outlook for chances of formation in the next few hours. And so basically, what you've got is a high chance of development in the next 48 hours, and then also in the next 7 days. And so basically, what you got is this entire area is basically where the beginning of the storm will form. This entire area is under I think this was a 90% chance of formation throughout the next 48 hours and the next 7 days. So basically, what that means is that if this storm does not form until it gets a name around 48 hours from now, then it will. Then it has a 90% chance of doing that for in the next 7 days. So basically, right now, it's located right where this X is, and it's moving towards this area. So these are the Lesser Antilles, and basically, if this passes this area and it's still strong, it does have a shot at taking a secondary landfall around the Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina coast. It is extremely unlikely because you can see it has to kind of move in a straight line, and it has to really have a long life and a long kind of path. So usually these tropical systems and hurricanes, they don't usually go this far, but it will definitely get close. But we'll definitely have to see and continue tracking where this thing is going to go. But yeah, this is pretty much what the National Hurricane Center is saying right now, and we're just going to be quickly breaking down the impacts of the system so far, what the models are saying. So these are the hurricane models. This is the HWRF model for hurricanes, and basically what this is going to show you is the intensity of the precipitation amounts, and you can see that already. This was 11 a.m. this morning, so this was a few hours ago. This morning, this was just before noon. You already had some very intense rainfall coming down, and you don't see the exact shape of what a tropical-like system looks like, but very quickly you're going to get that center of the storm appear. So this, really, the HWRF is saying that this could even have a name in a few hours from now, Eastern time. So right now it's 6:30 Eastern time precisely. and this is already showing that by 5 p.m. today, it's like an hour ago. This already looked pretty impressive, and I'm kind of surprised that this doesn't have a name already. But I think the biggest shot for this in the next 48 hours to get a name is tonight. As it moves over those really like tropical waters, not too hot. It's right in the 70s, where kind of tropical system and a hurricane likes to be. 70 degrees is pretty much the exact right environment for a hurricane. So we click on the sounding here just to look at what the temperature is, and it's 78 degrees. So upper 70s is that's actually pretty good. So this could definitely show some life and some more, you know, average temperatures here across the area. But as we get into tomorrow morning, we will see these temperatures rise, but we have to figure out how high they're going to rise. So this is about 80 degrees, so not too bad. So these temperatures are going to be pretty steady, which hurricanes like steady temperatures around 77, 78, 79, and 80 degrees. So upper 70s to lower 80s is like the right temperature for a hurricane. So we'll actually I don't know if we can't get it, but um, if we looked at the temperature map, you would see that if this entire region is in 70s and 80s, then we do have a little bit of a higher chance and possibility of this forming. But already you could see very tight circulation right here in the middle of this storm, and the exact low pressure center is right where it needs to be in that eye. It doesn't have an eye yet, but once it gets a name and it starts gaining strength into like a tropical storm and then a hurricane eventually, possibly, that's when you'll have the eye, and that's when you'll have a very organized system. But this hurricane model does take this and take it away to no man's land, where this could actually really get strong and strengthen into possibly a considered strong and dangerous hurricane. So maybe we will actually see a pretty significant event and storm from this. And this already, by the 20th, so this would probably be, I think this is Tuesday. By Tuesday night, this could already be a high-end tropical storm possible. But you do have a bunch of rain bands all circling around the center of the storm. The low pressure center is right in here, and we do have looks like a eye wall, because we would probably have an eye if this were actually like a tropical storm or hurricane. I'm guessing though that at this point, if this is going to be if this were to be exactly what the storm's going to look like, I think that by the 20th to 21st we could have a tropical storm or hurricane on our hands. But we've got a very nice looking storm right here, and this could definitely be our first major hurricane of the Atlantic hurricane season. So very exciting news. But hopefully this does not impact any people. It doesn't look like it's going to make any direct landfalls, but those islands out there, more farther towards the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, you guys could definitely see some impact from the storm. But I don't think that this will directly hit the Lesser Antilles, but I think it could possibly. But I really don't think that this will. Um, but this is definitely going to drop. This low pressure is definitely going to drop. So the lower the number, the stronger the storm gets. So that's what I need you guys to keep in mind. So this number right here above this L, this number tells you how strong they get. So the lower the number is, the stronger it gets. So right now, around the 21st, so like the late morning of, I believe this is Wednesday, you could have the storm already down to a 975 millibar low pressure. So this is very, very organized. But look at all these really tight bands here. And we would have to zoom in even more on the center of this storm to really look at, intensely of how strong each band of rainfall is going to be with this. But the fact that you're seeing almost no precipitation in the center of this storm really tells you that, that is, I mean, that could be, that's a sign. That's the best sign you could have when you're looking at a precipitation map for a tropical-like system, that's the best sign telling you that you have a hurricane on your hands. Because basically what that means is that an eye of a hurricane is completely dry. And so when you see no precipitation in the middle of a storm on this precipitation map, that tells you that this could quite possibly be a hurricane, what we're looking at right now. But we continue this throughout Wednesday, and it still just gets stronger. It weakens a little bit. You can see it only goes up 1 millibar, but you definitely gets ripped apart a little bit by this wind shear because there's a high pressure center right near the Bermuda Triangle, a little bit farther north than the system, which is keeping the system low, along with a lot of wind shear behind it. So there's two areas of wind shear. There's one that's west of the uh, Antilles, and then there's one just behind the storm. And they're going to be really trying to rip this apart. But the fact that this is going to get as strong as it looks like it will, that will actually keep it from being torn apart by that wind shear. But this is definitely going to intensify even more. So Thursday is going to be the big day where this could really be classified, and it could change from a hurricane to a major hurricane and a dangerous situation. But I mean, you can see that this is looking very, very impressive as this number has actually dropped to 966. So 966 millibar low pressure center, and you still have a lot larger area with no precipitation in the eye of the storm. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very big storm, and I really do think that this will eventually reach hurricane strength. We just don't know exactly where and when. But we know that this will I mean, I don't want to say definitely, but it is almost like nine. I'm 99% sure that this is going to form into a at least a low end tropical storm. I think that's basically we're down to that by now, but it still continues to drop. Look at this, 968 millibar low pressure center. So very, very strong and organized system. When I say organized, I mean like there's a very tight circulation with this. You do see an eye, a very precise eye, and just a little circle you see here with the storm. And you've got rain bands circling around the center of the storm, and the center of the storm is calm. So these rain bands are going to be moving in a counterclockwise direction. Now, this tells you that this is a tropical system because all tropical systems they all move in counterclockwise directions. So if this began rotating in a clockwise direction, actually this is moving in a clockwise. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. So this is moving in a clockwise direction. Wait, I think yeah. Oh, sorry guys. So basically, when storms move in clockwise directions, they are not classified as tropical systems. I mixed that up, but just now. But so basically, just to make sure that this is a tropical system and not just a very, very strong rainstorm, is just telling that this is these all these rain bands are moving in counterclockwise directions. But this is like this is late morning Thursday, and you're still seeing more intensification. It gets a little bigger, and the circulation and like the intensity of the circulation kind of gets a little bit wider and more broad. So basically that means that this storm could weaken a little bit. So like evening hours of Thursday, you may see a little bit of like a downside of the storm, but then it's going to quickly ramp up, and this is going to be probably the strongest point of it. So probably, like I would say early morning Friday to overnight Thursday to early morning Friday is probably when the storm will be strongest. It drops down to a 963 millibar low pressure system at around 2 in the morning Friday. And it continues to drop to 960 millibars. So really, I think late morning Friday or early morning to late morning Friday is where this could definitely be strongest. And then we run out of model run time as we get to the 126-hour mark. But, I mean, man, is this going to be a heck of a storm. And you look, what it is now it's just a big or unorganized bunch of rainfall, and then you compare that to at 126 hours later this week, man, it could get very strong. So this is definitely going to be a system that we're going to be continuing to watch very intensely and closely. And you guys really got to make sure that you stay safe and you got to stay alert if you could potentially be in the path of this system. So, for the last part of the update, we're just going to be looking at the potential wind speeds of this storm. And so, right now, it appears that this is actually almost at this is almost at like depression, tropical depression, and tropical storm strength winds. But um, I think the criteria for a tropical storm is, I think, at least 36 or 37, something like that, mile an hour wind gusts consistent, or winds, I should say, throughout the storm. But this is already looking like going to be a major wind producer, and we continue this throughout tomorrow. This is 8 a.m. tomorrow, and we're starting to see 46, 52, and then approaching upper 50s for those wind gusts. This is probably, this model is showing that this could be a high-end tropical storm as soon as tomorrow evening. So Monday evening, you guys could definitely, just pop onto the National Hurricane Center webpage, and you could already just see that this is a tropical storm already. So you'll be very surprised to see how fast this forms. But you could potentially see wind gusts already reaching like 55 miles an hour by like tomorrow night. So this is definitely going to intensify very, very rapidly. But it does appear to weaken around Tuesday into Wednesday, and then I guess night of the 20th would probably be Tuesday. So Tuesday night is when you could really start seeing this turn into a hurricane and potentially be very, very intense. But you see these purples around here, right around these low pressure center. These are wind gusts ranging from 60 to 80 miles an hour. So the lighter the shade, in this like purplish red color, the stronger those wind gusts are, and this is just going to get bigger and stronger as we go through the week. But we're getting into like Wednesday and Thursday. I think this is 5 a.m. Thursday. You have you already have an eye, and all around the eye you have wind gusts ranging from 60 to 90 miles an hour. But this would probably, at this point, it's looking like Thursday could definitely be the day where you start seeing those hurricane strength wind gusts. But I think this will be declared a hurricane probably early Thursday morning or Wednesday night. But it appears that this will be a 965 millibar low pressure as early as late morning Thursday. But this is just going to continue to get stronger and bigger, and it's going to very intensify very, very rapidly. But look at this. This is impressive. This is like such precise rotation, and there's no wind shear around this. You can see that all the wind shear, well, you can't really see it on here, but all the wind shear is out of the way of this system. So there's nothing that's going to stop the system, and all we have to wish for, all we have to hope for is just that this storm does not injure, well, obviously injure, but it doesn't hit any people. But it doesn't appear that this will make any landfall. But we skip ahead to like the strongest point of it. Well, actually, let me look for the strongest point of it. So probably you're thinking probably around here. So it looks like the strongest point of it could be potentially, let me see. So Tuesday would be the 20th, Wednesday 24th. So I guess this would be the very early morning hours of Friday could definitely be the strongest point of it. And the max winds you could get is 98 miles an hour right up here. So 98 miles an hour is the max wind you could get. Those wind gusts are likely going to be gusting anywhere from 110 to 125, maybe approaching 135 miles an hour. That it's most likely a Category 2 or Category 3 hurricane. So we just broke down pretty much all the potential impacts that this storm will bring. But to sum it up, to give a little summary, this storm is going to definitely get a name. I'll say that. But I'm really thinking that this has a good shot of becoming a low end Category 3 hurricane. So this is very, very dangerous, but luckily we won't have that many people in the way of this, and maybe even no people in the way of this. But it's also exciting to see this because we're actually starting. This is the start of our hurricane season, but we will definitely continue to watch the system very closely. So that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Not subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next update. So we'll continue watching the storm very closely. But have a good evening, and we'll see you guys in the next update.